these videos have been helpful and have given you a little better understanding of the process. This section here is a summary or an overview of what we discussed in these video clips. There's 2 chapters of bankruptcy that are available to you, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. Chapter 7 is a total or complete bankruptcy, which allows you to discharge most all of your debts. There are certain exceptions to that, such as student loans, alimony, child support, most taxes, or any debts resulting from fraud or misrepresentation, which, again, I typically don't see. Chapter 13 allows you to reorganize your mortgage or your car loan or your income taxes and pay the arrears over time. The vast majority of the cases are Chapter 7 cases. The new laws allow you to choose the federal exemptions, which include that wild card exemption we talked about previously. That allows you a lot more legal protection as far as protecting your assets from the trustee who represents the creditors. There is a new means test that was instituted back in October of 2005, which sets certain income guidelines as far as whether or not you're eligible for Chapter 7. Depends on how many people are in your household and how much income is generated from that household. Those guidelines are fairly generous. I think for one person it's close to $50,000, and it goes up from there. As much as, I think, for 4 people in the household, I think it's $83,000 or $86,000. So most people are eligible for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and as long as you haven't filed bankruptcy Chapter 7 within the last 8 years, it goes from filing date to filing date as far as your eligibility, and I do see some of those occasionally, where we'll have to wait until that 8 years is up before we can file a new Chapter 7. Bankruptcy is a personal decision that you have to make. Most people come to me, they're just overwhelmed by their debts, or they have excessive medical bills that they can't pay for. Typically, their credit card payments are just astronomical, where they're not making any headway, and they're just paying interest only, and you'll be paying on that debt for years to come. Chapter 7 allows you a fresh start, allows you to get rid of that debt and get on a new path towards prosperity. It's obviously going to affect your credit rating. I get a lot of questions in regards to how this is going to affect my credit, and will I be able to reestablish credit, and how long is it going to be on my credit report? And I kindly advise these clients that that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is discharging these debts legally under the bankruptcy code. Any questions in regard to how this affects your credit or rebuilding credit should be directed towards people that do that type of work, and there are legitimate agencies or companies that do provide that type of service. Chapter 13 again allows you to pay your mortgage arrears over 5 years, or a car loan, or back taxes, and a lot of times the interest rate, there is no interest rate in Chapter 13, or especially in regards to unsecured creditors, so you end up paying back typically a percentage of what you owe with no interest. So it allows you to pay that debt over 5 years, 3 to 5 years. To bear in mind, though, once you do file a Chapter 13, you have to continue, you have to start and maintain your mortgage payments and your car payments, keep them current. However, the car payments are typically put into the Chapter 13 plan and paid over that 5 years. So basically the process entails 2 meetings with my office. One is an informational meeting to get you familiar with the process, have you sign a retainer agreement if you wish to proceed, put you on a payment plan, give you the information required as far as what documentation is needed. You'll get a checklist, and also the agencies that are authorized by the bankruptcy court to provide the debt counseling, the pre-bankruptcy counseling, and the pre-discharge counseling. On the second meeting, once you're paid in full and once you have all your documentation, including your pre-bankruptcy certificate, we'll put all the information in the computer, have you sign your petition, and your case will be filed within 3 days as per the fast filing guarantee. There may be some cases that it's not appropriate or wise to file the case at that particular time. But upon filing the case, you're going to have a good idea, or a great idea, as to what to expect at the meeting. Your meeting is going to be within a month after we file your case. You will receive a notice in the mail, where to go to, what date and what time to show up. Make sure you show up at least 15 minutes early. Bring your driver's license, social security card, and a bank statement showing the balance of any of the accounts that you may have had at the time that you filed your case. The date that you filed your case can be found at the top of the notice. It'll show you that date that the case was filed. In Rochester, most cases are at the courthouse at 100 State Street. In Buffalo, most of the cases are at 300 Pearl Street. If you live in surrounding areas closer to Batavia or Mayville or Watkins Glen, you'll typically be going to those courthouses there. But again, the address will be shown on your notice. All your creditors will be noticed of your meeting. Typically they do not show up to your meeting because they realize there's really nothing for them to get from you, because you filed bankruptcy and you're looking for a fresh start. After your bankruptcy or after your case is filed, you have to take a second course, which is debtor education course, sometimes referred to as a pre-discharge course. Both the pre-bankruptcy certificate and the pre-discharge course can be taken online, and your certificate issued via email. And if you put in my email, they'll be able to send me a copy as well. After your meeting with the trustee, if the trustee requests any additional information, you must provide that in a prompt manner. The quicker you do that, the better. It provides or prevents the trustee from making a motion to the court, where you may be required to pay the trustee for his time in getting that information. In rare cases, you may be required to show up for a second meeting if the trustee wants to question you further on the items contained or the information contained in your bankruptcy petition. I hope this series of videos have been helpful. And again, I am always available to answer your questions. If I'm not at the office at the time that you call, I will certainly return your call as quickly as possible. I also monitor my email multiple times a day, which is mlewis@lewislegalservices.com, or you can give us a call. Don't be afraid to call us. I know lawyers sometimes get a reputation as being arrogant or impatient or mean. That's not the case here. We're here to help you and guide you through this process and educate you as to what to expect. Buffalo 630-5001, Rochester 272-8958. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant day.